So we're unpacking the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus, and wow, it's blown the audience away here. The focus of this product has been one of taking the body of a smartphone and saying, you know what, we understand that it's there to process data, we understand it's there to make calls and do those type of functionalities, but how do we imagine the lens of the camera? How do we imagine this lens being our eyes and ears and adding these new layers to the world that's around us? So with the Samsung S9, what we have, we focused on three big issues that we were listening to our consumers. We were trying to understand what it is that they were wanting to do with their smartphones. How do we break down the barriers that they were experiencing and create a phone that answered to their needs? So the first thing that we looked at is we created a camera that we listened to where our customer was taking images, and we found that most of the time they were doing it in low light conditions and less than optimal environments. So we've given the camera what we call dual aperture. Now that's essentially like your human eye. So when you and I walk into a low light environment, into a dark room, our eyes, the pupils open up, they dilate, they let more light come in so that we can have a better picture of the world that is around us. Now, while the human eye takes a few seconds to do that, the S9 does that in the blink of an eye, and that allows us to ensure that we get an incredibly clear image even in those poorer conditions. The second one is looking at understand what we're doing with our phones every single day. Do you know, across the world we send in excess of 6 billion emojis daily. So whether we think it's a fad or just a bit of fun, we use them. We all use them, and on a continuous basis. We've now been able to utilize the camera with augmented reality and create a 3D image of ourselves. So now I can have an avatar of myself going out there as my messaging platform, as my emoji, sharing my different expressions, my joys, my pains, and using that across almost any messaging service. So we're not limited to only the Samsung native messaging service. We can use this across WhatsApp and a number of other platforms that exist out in the market. And then possibly, which is my favorite, is the super slow-mo. So whilst a number of cameras have been able to record video images and slow it down in what is typically about 240 frames per second, we're able to do, as our marketing line is talking about, capture the moment that is within the moment. We're able to record at 960 frames per second. That means that 0.2 seconds of a moment, that little blink of an eye that takes place, we're able to stretch that out to over 6 seconds of video footage. And the detail that you see in that is phenomenal. Now, you've got to think about practical application of this. So we've all seen those funniest home video shows and like where we see the ironing board hitting dad in the face or whatever it might be. Not that we're promoting violence by any way, but those are some hilarious moments that we catch, and they are so much more enhanced where we see them in the incredible depth in that brief moment, how it pushes against the skin, how the impact of the individual and how they react to it. You are now, as a smartphone user, able to capture this without any specific special equipment over and above your Galaxy S9. So some of the other big highlights of the Galaxy S9 are it's IP68 rated. Now that means that it's water and dust resistant, so it takes the knocks, the spills, the crashes of life all in its stride. We then have the DeX solution that is an accessory to the Galaxy S9. We've changed DeX from being a stand-up unit to being a flat unit. That means that we can now take our S9, put it flat on the table, linking it to our PC or to our monitor, and basically using the S9 as a keyboard, as a mouse, and the like. So we get a complete, authentic PC-like experience just by using our Galaxy S9. So given that the design hosts 18.5 by 9 aspect ratio, so that's almost like the the screen layout that you experience at the cinema. Samsung obviously understands that consumers these days are not only looking at their device in portrait mode, but in fact it's growing in terms of looking at landscape type of applications. So with our auto rotate, we seamlessly transition between the portrait mode and landscape mode. And on top of that, we're able to do split screen. So we're able to, in either one of those modes, flip down if a message notification comes in. We're able to just simply swipe down, deal with the message without having to interrupt maybe the YouTube clip that we were watching, or the Netflix video, whatever it might be at that point in time. And it wouldn't be a Galaxy if it wasn't enabled with wireless charging. So that's a solution that we continue to offer on the S9. And perhaps one of the other standout features, we have kept the 3.5mm audio jack, so that it's located conveniently at the base of the device, and you're able to get the dual speaker stereo sound coming through that jack and listen to it on whichever is the headphone of your choice. Albeit in the box it already comes with our phenomenal AKG tuned in-ear headsets, which in their own right are valued in excess of 1,400 Rand.